Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Serving Nerve, where we talk about whatever we want. You know, I was making a video talking about privilege on a generalized basis, and that nothing really matters, and that money's the only thing that will rule the world, and that, yeah. And it was a weird video, but I figured, instead of me actually posting that video, I'm going to go through some people who have a perception of privilege. So I figured we'll start with the Fat Acceptance Cringe TikTok compilation here, and then we'll bounce to something else later on. But I just want to go through this Fat Acceptance Cringe TikTok. Sometimes, every now and then, we find a little something special inside of these. Maybe a little bit of advice to take home. But, I don't know. That's the concept of this. I just figured we'll go into it because it showed up on the feed, and it's an idea. I don't really need to make excuses because people pump and dump the same content on YouTube all the time anyways. Indiscriminate of justification. So, yeah, we'll just get into this, and, yeah. Anyways, let's just get into it. Sam.
Remember when people would be like, this bitch got a butt in the front? I'm here to ask, and what about it? And I'd also like to state that my front and back butt could be placed on your father's forehead at any time, bitch. Talk to me nice.
I literally don't have a father. Tell me when you find him. He has to pay child support still. The former fat person that won't shut up about their weight loss and keeps encouraging you to lose weight too. Yeah, probably because they might be a friend as well, and they want you to be healthier because they found that great advances have come in their life as a result of them actually changing their lifestyle and losing weight as a result. But you want to stay stuck in that same position that they previously were in, finding themselves in a state of dismay. So the result is they find that you're suffering, and they wanted to try and push you to make better changes. And maybe they see that you're also struggling with similar health risks they did, and that their health risks maybe went down, maybe even went away as a result. This is just an assumption, but I'm just thinking, it probably is not for a horrible, dogmatic, and rude reason. It's probably for a reason out of concern more than anything else. With very few exceptions, fat suits should never be used in film, TV, or theater. I mean, there are some actors who will pull it off and get fat and then get skinny and then get fat and then get skinny, but what would you rather do? I think I'd rather just wear the fat suit. I think the logical justification behind this is that it discriminates against fat people who could maybe be in those roles, with those roles, or it just shows an unhealthy perception of fat people or something. But at the end of the day, this is Hollywood, and we got dates and times to actually meet our movies. And, a 6-month weight loss stint is going to be costing you a little bit of something.
I'm done.
This is really sad, actually, because this person obviously is having a lot of issues with their weight weighing them down in the wake of our typical Earth's gravity, and it's not to be, laughing at them. It's actually incredibly painful. I can't imagine being this big and being comfortable at all walking on anything, walking on any soft surface, walking anywhere, doing anything. I feel like I'd be already exhausted by the time I open my eyes. It's hard. I mean, I remember when I would be, in my bulkiest of physical states, and, I was probably, 170, and, dude, it's not fun. It sucks. It sucks being overweight. It must be horrible being obese just on the basis of all this pressure on your joints, the severe pain, the obviously, you got, more swelling, more high blood pressure issues, and I'm not trying to speak for this person or anything like that, but they're displaying that their distaste with gravity is probably because they're in a bigger body. This world wasn't built for people in bigger bodies. I love how, as our bodies have evolved on planet Earth, and somehow in this current generation, we have now come to say that evolution was wrong and our bodies physiologically are not built for the planet that they've evolved on. just because we're all getting fat now. It's pretty funny, but it's also quite sad. I do hope that she finds herself well in life.
I'm done with body positivity. It used to be for us, for people in marginalized bodies. But now it's been taken by diet culture, and it's just a bunch of skinny girls sitting all weird and being like, oh my god, look, when I sit, my organs come out of my body, isn't it gross? I'm done with body positivity.
That's so funny, because body positivity probably started for people like burn victims and people with eating disorders and stuff, and people with severe physical disabilities. And then the fat people actually took it over, and then the skinny girls started getting in on it, and now the fat people want to take it back when it wasn't their movement to begin with, because body positivity and acceptance of the body and fat acceptance, I mean, you can literally be any body and try and say that stuff. It doesn't have to be, like, based on the size of an individual. That's somewhat discriminant. The acceptance is discriminant now. It's kind of ironic, actually.
So I posted this video, and of course, I got a slew of just thin, privileged women telling me that I'm wrong. Which, of course, as a fat person, you know that is our entire experience. We're never trusted to know our own feelings or what we're thinking. You're not actually hungry. You're not actually thirsty. You're lazy. And look, I understand, under the umbrella of diet culture, we all suffer from body dysmorphia and body image issues. I don't know what it's like to be in a larger body, but then I thought, I don't know what it's like to be in a smaller body. We'll never know the struggle of having to never buy my own drinks. I'll never feel the turmoil of having male friends who want anything else but friendship. I'll never know the pain of always being able to find clothes in my size. I will never know the disappointment of realizing a guy rejected me not because of my body, but because of my shitty personality.
I've not had any of these experiences other than the final one. Although my personality not being shitty, more because I'm just a weirdo. But, the reality is, none of these things are things that I've actually had the privilege of experiencing. None of my clothes fit me. Anytime I put on clothing, I feel like I'm gonna die. Usually because, I don't know if I should show you guys, but my body kind of looks like shit. Muscle, we got the hustle, but it's a stick, my dudes. It's a freaking stick of a stunt, alright? This is what we're rocking here. Do you think that being 5'2" means that I'm gonna find clothes, especially when I'm a box body? I'm happy that I'm not obese, okay? But I'm just pointing out, let's just be honest here, okay? Being 5'2" and being like, I don't know, like having like no shape to the body, no shape, it's not gonna, and I'm sorry that I'm touching my boob-ahs, alright? I'm not wearing a bra and I'm feeling self-conscious. But the point I'm trying to make is, yes, okay? Listen. Not being able to fit into clothing sucks. It's not discriminant based on the size, alright? I've been fucking 95 pounds before, still couldn't fit into a fucking dress, alright? There is just some curvature that I do not have. What am I supposed to do? Fucking complain about it on TikTok? All my clothes are like t-shirts and shit. But anyways, other thing I have to point out is, I've had people buy drinks for me. It's not because they want to screw me. It's because we're both alcoholics and one of us is poorer than the other. But then at the end of the day, also, what was the other thing she was going? She's just complaining about everything, honestly. I don't know, man. It's so ironic that these people are going on and on about privilege when they're privileged in a westernized world, which is pretty nice. I'm not here to act like I'm freaking, not privileged. I've got my privilege, like everybody else. We all have some kind of privilege. But let me tell you, being poor sucks the most. I'd rather be fat and rich than poor and skinny. I'll tell you that much. I'm just saying, my people. So, do we want to just gain 50 pounds for no reason? I'm just saying.
People, they aren't healthy. Well, neither is your...
No, but dead ass though, like y'all really be fucking y'all cousins, doing drugs in the bathroom every weekend, eating hot Cheetos, and y'all want to come for big people. Like, how? Like, you got the nerve to tell me about my life while you smoking them cancer sticks. You trying to come for me, but you still drinking that 2% ass cow milk?
Oh, okay, they're generalizing. I thought this was all of a sudden we were talking about Alabama or something. Like, I didn't know where the cousin fucking came in. But, people have really unhealthy habits. Like, I'm not here to say that my habits are perfect. By no means are they perfect. But also, I have to say, just because somebody is unhealthy doesn't mean they have no right to be able to say that something else is unhealthy. Say somebody's really into, vaping or smoking cigarettes, and somebody else is a binge drinker and they want to judge them for their binge drinking. They can do that. By all means, they can do that. You can also point out the irony or the hypocrisy with such a judgment, but the reality is, it is still a judgment that is worth judging for. Like, I don't have an issue with the idea of somebody judging me even if they're also unhealthy. Unhealthy people can also find more unhealthy things faster. Let me tell you, I can find some unhealthy things in life, alright? It's not that hard.
When debt, your house in foreclosure, like, I will never, ever have time to worry about somebody else with what's going on. Like, and I know y'all niggas is laid off. Y'all be at home, hands down y'all unwashed pants, trying to tell somebody else about their life when you're not even trying to better yours.
This sounds like a personalized experience. I could be wrong. I hope this woman's doing well. No shade to her. I have no idea what this is contextualized for, but, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be nice, but, like, this kind of thing is, like, not a healthy perception to have. I feel like the concept of judging people, though, a lot of people have a negative perception of the concept of judgment as well, which is understandable because judgment means that you are being judged, typically by society, and that means that you're doing something wrong, and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I like the idea of being judged. I think judgment's a normal, healthy thing, and I think everybody should be able to do it. Saying that, though, I hope this person's had some good experiences in life. It sounds like people have treated her kind of like crap. When they say I got told to eat a cheeseburger once, so, like, they were like, oh, I'm so skinny that somebody told me to eat a cheeseburger is what I'm guessing this person's referring to. I don't know why this would make them so uncomfortable. They put some audio over this, and I can't put the audio on because then it's going to get copyright claimed. But, it's just them saying, like, I don't think I'm comfortable being here anymore. I would be so sad if, like, my experience with somebody else being skinnier than me made me not want to be there because they talked about them being skinny. It kind of sucks when somebody else, like, is superior over you in some capacity. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is really, like, the way to look at things. I don't know, man. I feel like this is not a healthy perception. You should always associate with people based on friendship and camaraderie, not on, like, the body size. But that's just my own ignorance. Maybe this is, like, going against their principles or something.
Okay, hear me out. My pants don't fit, and that does not make me a bad person. That makes the pants not fit. It has nothing to do with my moral character. I'm going to take off the pants, return the pants, and get my money back. The end.
Completely reasonable. I don't really think this person should feel bad. I don't know. This is a very normal, like, body acceptance, don't beat yourself up because something doesn't fit mindset. And I don't think people should beat themselves up because something doesn't fit properly on them. I just think they should take care of themselves. Like, this person obviously is overweight. Hopefully, she's finding that, you know, she's healthier, like, losing weight, you know. I know this is something that the body positivity, fat acceptance people don't like to say, but at the end of the day, from my perspective, being this overweight does have some health risks, and I think it would be stupid to say otherwise. And I just really hope that, you know, this person keeps well, because she's not saying anything mean. She's not saying anything, like, venomous and evil, or, like, screw skinny people, oh, they all deserve to die. She's just saying, like, the pants don't fit, I'm not gonna have a panic attack, I'm just gonna return them, get another pair. I don't know what else they say online, but honestly, I feel like this person deserves a little grace. Like, ending up on this compilation is just because she's fat, not because she's saying anything too ridiculous. But that's my personal perspective. When you see someone that has lost/gained weight and you don't comment on the change, and then they're saying, hey, isn't this easy? And most people don't want their weight acknowledged. I don't know about you, but no matter where I'm at, if I see a change in my weight, better or worse, I don't really want people to comment on me. I don't like the attention. But that's just my perspective. I think physical attention's stupid. You are a repulsive whale, a grotesque, huge, lumpy, misshapen freak. You have such a horrifying, massive, grotesque, huge ass that you have a ass within your ass. Only a grotesquely obese beast would parade around with fat dripping out of every corner of their deformed body in a bikini. With pasta on it, your body is a massive election killer? I would not fuck you if you were the last woman on Earth? You are downright disturbing to look at? I can only imagine the size, the turds that come from your house. You are a ghastly, horrendous creature akin to Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my god.
Biggest boner killer in the world is looking at you.
What?
That's so sad. You have serious issues with food. You are obese. You are so obsessed. You are wearing a bikini 67 sizes too small with pasta on it. You will the perfect candidate for my 600-pound life. God, that's so mean. Like, you know what? I know she's laughing, but this is so mean. Like, you know, no matter what you post online, if it's just you looking gross in a bikini, trust me, I could do that pretty easily. I look like crap in a bikini. But, you know, I'm not trying to be just bringing my own crap in here. But, like, honestly, wish I had the confidence of some of these women who go out in bikinis, because I do not have it. I do not have feminine confidence whatsoever. That's why I literally live in t-shirts and men's boxer shorts. But, this is such a mean comment for somebody to post. And I know they have the freedom to post it and send them DMs and message them and stuff, but this is so rude, and they can't even spell. What a freaking distasteful move. To be so offensive and rude to this young lady for just posting a picture that they found not gratifying in a perverse sense. So much so that, God, the spelling's just pissing me off. There's no spelling to this. It's like they were written by a 12-year-old, and it probably was. It's written by like a 12 or a 14-year-old kid or something like that. But like, it is so gross and rude. And you know what the worst thing is? If this was an adult person, I really wish I knew what this profile was, because if this is an adult dude and he's like commenting and complaining about this individual because they can't get an election, they can't even spell that properly too. How amazing. Massive election killer. I would love to have a t-shirt with that on there. She should make some merch. I'd buy it. But dude, this is just like, this is so mean. I just don't understand what's wrong with people. What point in life do you have to be at to find that a picture online has triggered you so much to post a massive wall of misshapen text? Like, I just don't understand. Body proportion / fatness was an important element for creating race. The racial hierarchy, okay. I think she is a really pretty girl, but what's the point of this? Is that being fat, being concept of thin privilege, or like not being fat, or being fat is more discriminate? You're getting discriminated. It's racist. It's racist. That's what I'm learning, is that body proportions / fatness was an important element for creating race, the racial hierarchy. The way this is written out doesn't make any sense to me, but I get the idea. It's like, okay, well, body standards are racist because they discriminate against more curvaceous black women, maybe? I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude. I actually don't understand exactly what this person means. Okay. Alright, I am now a skinny man that is straight, very straight. Actually, I have a serious question for you. If you're straight in a if you're straight in a cis body, and then all of a sudden you got gender swapped, like you become a man, like if I were a man, you know, I know I keep talking about being a man, but it's kind of fun sounding. But like, you know, if I suddenly became a man, would I be gay or would I be straight? Like, if I were a man, this is a serious question that I've been asking myself my whole life, because I'm really curious, would my brain's chemistry change as well, and then my sexual preference would be that of a cis male's? A straight cis male, because I'm pretty sure I'm straight. So if I like guys now, would I like girls then, or would I like guys and then just be gay, or like would I be bi because I don't know what I like? What would this be? I'm very curious. What does this mean? What does it all mean? What is the meaning of life? It's to be a man. It's to be the manliest man that man can be.
What I eat in a day. Fat liberation.
Okay.
Bagel with sriracha and hemp hearts, cherries, and grapes. Spicy tofu poke bowl, I didn't drop it this time. Cinnamon Teddy Grahams in soy milk.
I need to try that. That's just diabolical. Are Teddy Grahams a cereal? I thought they were a cookie.
Protein smoothie bowl because it's all I want to eat lately. The mid-shift and the other clothes are called off today, so I was all alone. I hate this place. LMAO.
Yeah, I hate working too. We all do. We all hate working, our typical jobs.
Western bacon burger from Nice Guys. Love you, bye.
Outside of the burger, everything was hella healthy, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like if you ate that way consistently, you wouldn't become obese, but maybe I'm stupid.
Okay, can we talk about something completely ridiculous that happened this week? Lena Dunham came out of whatever cave she's been living in to talk about the new vibe that she has as a fat person and the plus size line that she's come out with. And look, if you had come out with literally any sort of revolutionary form of plus size clothing instead of a 2005 Lane Bryant revamp in select sizes, then maybe I would give you some slack. But here we are. Look, and this is only scratching the surface because then she decides to on the body positivity movement instead of, I don't know, reflecting on her privilege as a mid-size fat. So I guess this is...
I love how we're like now making it like, well, you're more privileged than me because you're not as fat as me. Like, we have to actually be like mid-size fat, super fat, mega ultra stupid fat, big bonk donk wonka mode, chungus, the big dummy thick chungus. Fits as a chungus. But you know what? Like, dude, I have no understanding of clothing, beauty, shape, love. I have no understanding of anything, really. But, like, I don't understand why we have to categorize now the fat people. We're discriminating even against fat people when we're fat. This is just so ironic. You know what's so ironic is before the fat acceptance community came to be a thing, there was this thing called the eating disorder acceptance community or the eating disorder recovery community where, body positivity, you know how they say the skinny white women who have co-opted the movement? This movement was actually, in my opinion, co-opted by fat people. No shade. I think you should be able to be part of whatever movement you want to be, and movements change with the times. But the fat acceptance aspect came from all kinds of different sectors of the internet, one being the eating disorder recovery community, which is usually, and not always, but it's a lot of, at the time, skinny white women who had severe eating disorders and then had to accept themselves in bigger bodies that were more average. And, I know this is more theoretical because I don't have the exact timelines for everything, but obviously, like, this is actually a big thing. That's where part of the body acceptance community came from, part of the eating disorder recovery community. And I just think it's funny because now they're like, oh, you guys co-opted this movement. You can't co-opt a movement like this. This is like, you guys created a movement off of a subset of body positivity. Body positivity and fat acceptance are two different things, and fat acceptance was a branch off of body positivity. That's the way this whole thing seems to have been set up. Body positivity was from, like, the eating disorder recovery community, the burn victims, that anybody who doesn't have the perfect body, or, whatever, like, that whole thing. Like, all the encapsulations that be. And then the fat acceptance community branched off from that beginning stage because they wanted to have their own thing, and they wanted to associate it as fat acceptance, not just body positivity. So in a sense, you could argue co-opting on both ends. I'm just saying. The self-love and wellness industries who have made it about them. Yeah, that is true. The self-love and wellness industries, but like the industries that want to make money will take anything that's popular in media nowadays. So it really sucks when I see, like, I don't know, companies trying to weaponize this kind of stuff and, whatever. But they just want money. They just want your paycheck or whatever. If you don't like it, just don't support the company. Solves the problem. It's what people did with Bud Light. You just don't have to support the industries, and then the problem will go away naturally because they won't get an influx of business as a result of appealing to you. Problem solved. The mid-sized and small fat women who claim they need a space to feel accepted. So I love how it's like you've got to be insanely fat. You got to be big, dumb, chunky, dummy thick. This person doesn't even look that fat. I don't even understand. Like, what is mid-fat and what is small fat? Like, what is that? Is that just, like, normal people? Like, what are we talking about here? It doesn't make any sense. You're either fat or you're not. This doesn't make sense. The genuinely fat women, the women of color, the disabled women, the queer women, aka the marginalized people who founded the movement. I think it's so also ironic that to be fat as a choice, by the way, being fat, you can argue it in some cases like with Prader-Willi syndrome or, certain, health issues that will make you fat. But most fat women and most fat people have the decision to be fatter or be fat. Like, people who are, like, fat have the right and or the decision that they can make to be fatter or to lose some weight. It is common. It's not always the case, but it's incredibly common. You cannot instead, though, choose whether you are disabled or a person of color or a queer woman. You can't choose these things. So I think it's really ironic that this person is saying, like, oh, well, we're all in the same boat and that's who started the movement. I don't know, man. I would be really annoyed if I were, like, somebody who went through the struggle of being, like, racially discriminated against, or if I were, like, disabled, like, physically actually disabled, or I were, like, you know, whatever, queer or gay or something like that, and, you know, or part of LGBTQ or whatever, you know, and then there's somebody who's able to make the full decision to live a well-thrived life and not be discriminated against, and they just lump themselves in with everybody else because they don't want to make that change. And that's up to them, but I just don't think it's an equivalence. You can't control if you're disabled, or if you have, like, a different race, or, you know, if you're discriminated against for your race, or if you have a sexuality that people discriminate against, but you can choose or not whether you are fat, or you can make the decision to change for the better so that you are not as fat. So I just don't think it's equivalent. You can't change race and stuff like that, but you can change your weight.
Content warning, possible invalidation of body dysmorphia from an actual fat person. So this is like a genuine question. How do I get non-fat people who have body dysmorphia talking about how disgusting they think they look because in their brain they look like me? How do I get them off my For You page? Because I can't deal with this. Like, these videos are so upsetting for me to watch, and I don't know what words I should block. I just need to understand.
So I get the idea here. This person doesn't like being referred to as disgusting or ugly or anything like that, and I'm sure that the people with body dysmorphia that are smaller, referring themselves as fat, are calling themselves disgusting and whatnot, and then the connotation is that this person feels like they are calling them or her or whatever disgusting. So the gist is, you can't do anything about it. Get off the internet. And yeah, that's literally it. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but, like, if it's this problematic and you can't handle other people talking openly about their body dysmorphia online, then you do have to disassociate from the space that you're seeing these comments. You don't even have to, like, not post. You just can't get away with reading the comments if they're that uncomfortable. I don't think you can really block those particular comments. Maybe you can filter out, like, body dysmorphia, the term fat, I don't know. But it's just, or disgusting or something like that, I don't know. But the reality is, like, it's very funny because it's like these are people who are having an individualized experience, probably struggling with things like, you know, eating disorders, you know, obviously body dysmorphia, having a lot of issues with their bodies. And instead of them having some level of, like, acceptance or validation, you find that they're offending you, so they need to go away. It's just sad. It's just a little bit sad. I hope everybody is doing well in this capacity, but I feel like they're all just tormenting each other online now. Unintentionally or intentionally, but they all just torment each other online. It's quite weird.
I need guidance and I need validation.
I don't understand, like, they need validation. You shouldn't expect people on the internet to validate you. Like, that's not, like, something you should expect. I feel like you should garner validation in your real life, because the internet is not forever. Like, I mean, the internet will hold information forever, but it's a constantly moving force, and your audience could just easily turn on you anyways. So why should you want to be validated and controlled by a subset of individuals that you actually have no physical contact with in the real world? You should never expect such. You should always garner camaraderie and validation in your real life, particularly from yourself, which is the entire concept of any kind of body positivity movement as well, or like fat acceptance movement. It's to validate yourself because you think you're valid. It's not to find validation through other people. So I don't know, man. This is just it doesn't make that much sense to me, but that's because I don't make sense. Anyways, that's the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, my people. I personally don't have anything against people who want to be part of the fat acceptance community, and I hope they all do well and thrive, but I just don't think it's an effective movement, and I don't understand the, the weirdness with them associating with being just as discriminated against as, like, people who face racial discrimination or an actual disability, like a physical disability, like, you know, losing limbs or anything like that. Or people who have even, like, different sexualities that they're discriminated against for. I mean, I just don't think it's quite the same thing, but that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, everybody's experience is individualized, and you can't just say on the basis of a definitive level of terminology, I guess, that their experience is invalid, but at the same time, why are all of these people looking for external validation and acceptance? They should learn to validate themselves, because that's the only way they'll ever be fortified well in life. You know, people could turn on them any moment, any day. Their audiences could hate them at any second. And at the end of the day, what's going to happen? Like, it's not going to lead to anything good. So personally, I would say that the best thing you can do is find satisfaction within your own view of yourself. But that's just my own perspective, obviously. Anyways, that's the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And I will see you next time, my people. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, it has been lovely. Slater.